how much leadership matters, especially right now when times are tough. In a world full of challenges, from threats to our sovereignty, to the rising cost of living, to dealing with our housing crisis, Canadians, like all of us here, are looking for a leader who won't divide us with anger and empty slogans, but instead, we need a leader that stands up for Canada, who unites us and who builds solutions rooted in facts and not fear. Yes. I, along with all our federal Liberal candidates today, stand proudly with Prime Minister Mark Carney. Prime Minister Mark Carney knows what's at stake for families like ours. He's faced economic crises on the world stage and delivered stability and hope when it mattered most. This campaign isn't about tearing things down. It's about building safer communities, stronger families, and a Canada that stands tall on the world stage. So every time I knock on your doors and I hear your hopes and dreams, it reminds me that politics should always be about people. People like us in this room and who are watching today, about making life better for families like yours and mine. And friends, we are gathered here today. The man who will lead us there with experience, with vision, with heart is here with us tonight and today. So this wouldn't be a rally without a good cheer, am I right? All right, so here we go. I want full participation in this room. When I say elbows, you say up. Elbows, up. Elbows, up. When I say Canada, you say strong. Canada, strong. Canada, strong. When I say Mark, you say Mark. Mark. Last time, Mark. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. April 28th. Go Liberal.
I think this election is different than any election, certainly in my life, because it's about who's going to stand up best to President Trump in this trade war. It's about who is going to build the strongest economy. Fundamentally, it's about what it means to be Canadian. But the reason we want a strong economy is so that everyone in Canada has what they need, is supported, is able to live their full lives. And that's what's at stake. So it's, are we coming together for a better Canada, or is it everyone for themselves? I prefer that we come together to build a better country.
Thank you to everyone who's here today. Bonjour tout le monde. My name is Diana Fox Carney. And I'm so happy to be here in Mississauga to tell you more about someone that I know well and you've been getting to know over these past few weeks. And I want to start by acknowledging that we're in difficult times. Plane coming in. We face a constantly shifting environment. But amidst all of this, thankfully, the one thing that remains constant is my husband, your Liberal Party leader. Through thick and thin, Mark remains steadfast and dedicated. He's tireless and always ready to rise to a challenge. And in fact, rising to a challenge is something of a defining feature of Mark. When faced with adversity, he hits the ground running. He is adaptable, he's agile, and he's calm and cool under fire. And he's able to draw an incredible memory and a depth and breadth of experience that really is second to none. He tells me that one source of his mental agility is the training he received, all those hours he spent on the ice as a hockey goalie growing up in Edmonton and beyond. He's always ready. And though he doesn't spend as much time on the ice these days, he still has annoyingly fast reactions. And I say annoyingly because we played a lot of pickup hockey together, and I've never managed to get one past him. So in hockey, as in the rest of his life and his work, nothing seems to get by him. I am incredibly proud of my partner, Mark. And as a Canadian, I'm incredibly grateful that he is standing strong for our country. Mark and I and the incredible team that support us have crisscrossed this country, and we've met wonderful people just like you. We're really grateful for that. And I've watched my husband listen and learn, and I've seen that he will never waver in his commitment to make this great country better, stronger, and more unified for everyone. So I have been fortunate to count on Mark for 30 years. Now you can count on him too. I'm lucky to have him. We're lucky to have him. Without further ado, we welcome my husband, your Prime Minister, Mark Carney.
This is Ahmed Ramadan for GTA Muslims Today. We're in a hangar actually right now at the rally for Mark Carney, where many of the people are attending a rally for the very first time. Let's go for it.
Thank you. Well, let me start. Better not forget. I forgot last time. Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Thank you, Diana, for a lot of things, actually. But thank you for reading that introduction that I read. Thank you, Diana, for all of your work on this campaign. Diana has been out knocking on doors, hammering in signs, making phone calls, helping us win this election. It is fantastic to be in Mississauga, this part of Mississauga. I've never been in this part of Mississauga before. But for so many people who come to our country, Mississauga is their first glimpse of Canada. And it is no wonder that so many of them end up staying right here, because Mississauga is the perfect example of what makes Canada so great, what makes Canada strong. Community, diversity, solidarity, and home to 6 amazing Liberal candidates that we need to send to Ottawa. Vive le Canada. Absolument, vive le Canada. Now, en ce qui concerne cette élection, I have a question. Who's ready? Who's ready to stand up for Canada with me? On sonne les coups. And who's ready to help the Liberal Party win the most consequential election? Oh, that makes me feel good. We need to because President Trump's trade war has literally ruptured the global economy and he has betrayed Canada, America's neighbor, America's closest friend and most steadfast ally. That is what he's done. Now, shame, and this is a tragedy. But it's also our reality. This is a time of serious leadership. And this will be time. We need to fight Trump's tariffs with counter tariffs of our own that cause maximum damage in the United States. We need to protect our workers using every single dollar we collect from those tariffs. And above all, we need to build Canada strong. We need to build Canada. Building Canada strong will require big changes. And I'm ready to make them. I'm not a career politician. I'm not a career politician. You have to go. There's a career politician on the ballot as well if you want a career politician. But I am a pragmatist. And as a pragmatist, when I see that something's not working, I change it. And that's exactly what I did as soon as I became Prime Minister. Homes in Mississauga, homes in Ontario, homes across Canada become too expensive. So we cut taxes on.
Something you want to hear?
We did more. We set out a strategy to build twice as many homes every year for a decade. Canadians still great. We saw that the capital gains tax rate is like the builders and innovators that we need. So we got rid of it. We saw that the consumer product tax should become too divisive. So we eliminated it on day one. Now we're going to get the big polluters. The big polluters to pay you for saving energy, pay you for home rentals, pay you for more efficient heating. Et nous avons élargi l'accès au régime canadien de soins dentaires.
I have started every right.
5 millions de Canadiens de plus en bénéficier. C'est ça.
Instigated.
Nous avons Nous avons renforcé nos relations avec l'Union européenne, la France et le Royaume-Uni pour que nos exportateurs soient moins dépendants des États-Unis. Now, at the end of my first week as Prime Minister, against some people's judgment, I brought together all the premiers to agree to eliminate the barriers to trade and labor mobility inside. Unanimous. And at the end of the night, I thought to myself, when's the last time they agreed on anything? Except for hating the federal government. But they agreed because we are in a crisis and we need one Canadian economy, not 13. And my government, if we are elected, we will do our part. We will get rid of all federal barriers by July 1st. Free trade in Canada by Canada Day. So in 9 days, as a new government, we did more than Pierre Poilievre has imagined in his decades. And that's assuming he does have an imagination and doesn't just mimic Donald Trump. I'm just saying, I'm just observing what I've seen. Now, just imagine what we could do together over the next few years with a strong, positive mandate in this election. That's what Canada needs. Canada needs a strong, positive government. Because as he made clear, just again in the last few days, President Trump is trying to break us. So America can find us. Is that going to happen? Ever happen. Canadians are over the shock of that betrayal. And that is what it is. It is a betrayal. We are over the shock of the betrayal, but we should never forget the lessons. Never. We have to look out for ourselves. And we have to take care of each other. You know, Canadians didn't ask for this fight, but we are always ready when someone else drops the gloves. Wasn't a good idea. And in this trade war, just like in hockey, we will win. Like many. We love Carney. We love Carney. We love Carney. We love Carney. Like many of you, hockey has played a big part of my life. And I grew up with the values I learned at the kitchen table, in the classroom, and on the ice. My parents were teachers, and they stressed the importance of working hard, of supporting our community, and of caring for other people.
Arms embargo now! Arms embargo!
These are Mississauga values. These are Canadian values. Et je me suis appuyé sur ces valeurs quand j'ai fait des crises au Canada et à l'étranger. Et aujourd'hui, je m'appuie sur elles pour faire face au président Trump et bâtir l'économie renouvelée pour tous pour réussir. Now, There's someone. There's someone. There's someone else. Pierre Poilievre. Doesn't get any of this, and I've seen this movie around the world. There's a type of lifelong politician who worships at the altar of the free market, despite never having actually worked in the private sector. It's the kind of politician, and he brags on this, who has never changed his mind since he was 17. Anyone here over 17? I see a few of you, right? Have you learned anything in the last few decades? Instead, Pierre relies on his reflex to always cut and divide to run. But we need slogans. We don't need slogans. We need solutions. We need chaos. We need calm. We don't need anger. We need an adult, and we need. I'm auditioning the role of adults. The politics of slogans and anger and chaos are dividing, and they are weakening the Americans. So we will win this battle. We will win this battle if we are united and strong. You know, it is our strength that the Americans want. They want our resources. They want our water. They want our land. They want our country. They don't have a country because Canada is not America. America is a melting pot. Canada, look at this crowd. Look at this crowd. We are all Canadians. Canada is our mosaic.
Yep.
In America, healthcare is a big business. In Canada, it is a right. Aux États-Unis, on ne reconnaît pas les différences. On ne reconnaît pas les peuples autochtones. Et il n'y a jamais de droit pour la langue française. Les États-Unis ne sont pas le Canada. Le Canada n'en fera jamais partie, jamais. Canada will never, ever be part of the United States. Okay. So we have that sorted out. And the question is, what do we do? Well, in a crisis, the first thing you have to do is to prepare for the worst, not hope for the best. You have to distinguish between what you can change and what you can't. And, you know, after 78 years, I don't think we can change President Trump. So we need a leader. We need a leader who can stand up to him. Le Canada a besoin d'un leader qui comprend que nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We can and we will control our economic destiny with the right plan. Because in a crisis, plan beats no plan. And to succeed in a crisis, you have to act with overwhelming force to overcome the anxieties that people naturally feel, to break through the fog of uncertainty that businesses face, and to replace what the crisis is taking away. That's what our plan for Canada Strong will do. Our plan starts with the government spending less of your hard-earned tax dollars so that Canadians can invest more. The core of our plan, the core of our plan is to build, baby, build. Notre plan va bâtir des millions de logements, une superpuissance énergétique, de bonnes carrières dans les emplois spécialisés, des nouveaux corridors commerciaux avec des nouveaux partenaires fiers sur du monde. Our plan will usher in a new era of investment, jobs, and growth, creating over $20,000 in new growth for every Canadian over the next 5 years. And Pierre Poilievre, it's become clear day after day, has no plan. No plan to stand up. He is literally grasping at straws. Thank God. Deal with that big issue first on plastic straws, and then we're going to face the greatest crisis of our lifetimes. He's offering Canadians a fantasy of fiscal tricks and phantom growth. He's ignoring the investments we need to build the strongest economy that works for everyone. He's surrendering, literally surrendering in the fight against climate change. He wants to cut what Canada needs and Canadians value: childcare, dental care, pharmacare, the CBC. He has a bring it home tax cut that is literally never home. It does not arrive for 4 years. That it's after President Trump is due to leave office. Ours shows up on Canada Day, $825 off for every time. You see, unlike Pierre Poilievre, I have managed budgets before. I've managed economies before. I have managed crises before.
Yes.
And I know that in a crisis, you build forward, not cut back. In a crisis, it's time to come together, not to sow division. I know that this is a time for experience, not experiments. I know we can give each other far more than the Americans can ever take away. And as America retreats from the world, Canada will lead it.
Yeah.
Now, before I wrap up, I want to say a few words about why we as Liberals, why we as Canadians, why we care about having a strong economy. It's not about the numbers. It's because we care about people. It's because we go right back to that value of community here in Mississauga, in Edmonton, across the country. That value of community that we all share, because we know that we are all in this together. That's why my government will stand behind $10 a day daycare. That's why we expanded dental care to 8 million Canadians. That's why we will make major investments in healthcare, in mental health care, particularly and for the treatment of addictions. Because we're all in this together, my government is committed to working in real partnership with Indigenous peoples. This is a critical election. And some people on both sides of the border claim we're not a real country. Well, they couldn't be more wrong. Canada is more than a nation. We are a confederation. We are a sacred set of ideas and ideals built on practical foundations. That we know that we're not perfect, but we always strive to be good. That we do things not because they're easy, but because they are right. We know that much of our strength comes from our resolve to work together, to work in unity. And united, we have done hard things, seemingly impossible things throughout our history. United, we have built one nation in harsh conditions with a sometimes hostile neighbor. United, we have confronted our own past with Indigenous peoples. Unis, nous avons bâti un pays qui rassemble des langues, des cultures et des croyances différentes. Unis, nous avons bâti des institutions culturelles essentielles comme Radio-Canada. United. United, we have created universal public health care. And now, united, we are buying Canadian. We are exploring everything our country has to offer. We are supporting our friends and neighbors in the crosshairs of the Americans and President Trump. United, we are standing up for Canada. United, we will win this trade war. We will build the strongest economy in the G7 that works for everyone. That's why Canada, I'm here today because Canada has given me everything. My family, my education, and my values. And in return, I'm ready to give everything to Canada. But for me to do so, and here is the ask. The ask always comes at the end. Here is the ask. For me to do so, I need your help. On Monday, the people of Mississauga, the people of Greater Toronto, to decide who is Canada's Prime Minister. There are only 2 days left. 2 days left in this campaign. It's a great, that's right. There are only 2 days left in this campaign. It's the equivalent of the last 2 minutes left in the third period of Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Something Toronto Maple Leafs fans may be about to experience. It's time. But it is time to leave everything on the ice. And that means I need you supporters to knock on a few more doors. I need you to make a few more phone calls. I need you to talk to friends, to families, to neighbors. And above all, I need you to vote Liberal. So we can protect values, that we can stand up to Donald Trump, build a Canada united, build a Canada strong, vive the Canada. Merci, thank you very much.
From today, we're attending the rally for Mark Carney here in Mississauga. We're in the airport hangar. There's a big crowd here. Mark Carney mainly focused his talk about Donald Trump, about what's taking place south of the border. He focused most of his talk about what's taking place south of the border and about Donald Trump. He did talk about how he's bringing together most of the provinces and how he's working on the economy. But he also did go after Pierre Poilievre pretty roughly. He mentioned how Pierre Poilievre might not have an imagination, and I'm paraphrasing, might not have an imagination because he gets all his ideas from Donald Trump. One thing that we saw, and I hope you caught it on, I hope you watched it earlier, there were people protesting for the Gaza genocide. They were shouting out two things. One of them is arms embargo now, because of the fact that Canada, while they have claimed they called for an arms embargo, and it's not a two-way arms embargo, there are still loopholes. The second thing that they were saying is it is a genocide. It is a genocide. Again, this has been a very big concern among the community.
No, you can.
So yeah, we're here attending the rally for Mark Carney in a hangar by the airport in Mississauga. Mark Carney focused most of his talk about going after Donald Trump, talking about the threat coming from the South, and we need a leader, obviously, to be able to counter that. He did talk about the economy a lot, and that he's an economist and he has experience, while Polyev does not. He did say that Polyev, what he's done in the first few weeks of being prime minister, it's more than what Polyev has done in decades in his wildest imagination. And then he did add that if he has an imagination, because he gets all his ideas from Donald Trump. Now, there was demonstrators here for Palestine that were calling for an arms embargo now. This arms embargo now is a coalition of organizations that have come together to demand Canada take a two-way arms embargo. And while Canada says they've halted arms sales, unfortunately, there are still many contracts that are open. There are loopholes with the arms embargo, and it is not two-way. They were also saying it is a genocide. It is a genocide over and over. There was a few of these that happened during the rally today, and yeah, you can see there's a lot of people here. We waited a very long time. The lineup, the way we got here was we all had to go to Humber College and wait in a line that literally went around the entire inside of the building. The more you walk, the longer the line got. We all got onto buses and they shuttled everybody to this hangar here where you've been seeing us going live today. This is Ahmed Ramadan for Muslim Network TV and GTA Muslims Today. Thank you for joining us. We are live and it was bringing it to you. Thank you.